Hi, I'm Alex Williams of the New Stack here at AWS reInvent with Matt Williams of Datadog, who's going to show us how containers can be managed on Amazon Web Services using the Datadog platform. Matt, good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. So yeah, we're going to talk about containers and AWS. We've been seeing a lot of customers asking us about how do they monitor containers, Docker containers on AWS. And one thing that the reason why they're asking us is that it's very easy to go from one or two containers to dozens or hundreds or thousands of these containers. And when you're getting to that kind of scale, it's very difficult to understand what's going on. It's easy to see what's going on in one container, but trying to get the aggregate of all these different containers and trying to aggregate based on different slices and dices of those containers, whether it's looking by availability zones or by roles or by size of machine. It's very difficult to get that kind of information. And so what we've done, we've created this this demo that we're going to show you today that tries to simulate a real-world example of using Nginx and Redis. And as the website is getting more hits, we see the number of containers going up to handle that kind of load, and we'll be able to monitor what's going on the entire process and the entire life cycle of that web server. So I'm going to jump over to the first dashboard. So here's one way we can look at some of the Docker information. We're looking at number of running containers and number of stop containers. And this number is fluctuating as demand comes in. We're simulating the demand using a Redis benchmarking tool as well as a distributed net client that is just pounding on the server. And we can see how that number of containers has increased over time, especially more recently as my CTO is getting ready for his demo later today. And then below that, I can see information about how CloudWatch is reporting CPU usage across all those different instances, and then how the operating system is reporting user usage, and how Docker, our Docker integration, is reporting that usage as well. We switch over to a different dashboard that shows that kind of information from a slightly different perspective. Here we're looking at M3, our M3 medium instances in US West 2A and what CPU usage looked like there, or for C3 extra large instances, and looking at the different availability zones. Also looking at that kind of similar information, but more at the Docker level across M3 medium and C3 extra large instances. Let's take a look at a slightly different way of, I should mention that these graphs are being created by specifying different tags that we want. How do we want to slice and dice the information using tags? So we'll put into one of the graphs, okay, I want to look at the tag M3 medium. I want to look at the tag US West 2A. I want to look at the tag CloudWatch and some other tags to create graphs that are exactly what we want to see. We've got some other events in the background here, and those could be GitHub commits, they could be the time Docker containers being brought up, or Docker containers being destroyed. Different ways you can configure that. Look at one more dashboard, and that is looking at specific container, or looking at container activity. So over here on the right side, I can see some of the more recent events that have happened that are related to containers. So containers that have been created or destroyed. Looks like we're just really creating because we're really pounding on the server, trying to create more use. And over on the left side, I can see specifically for the distributed net client images or instances, what's going on there. And let me just take a little bit more, another look at one of these dashboards. And this is, so the previous dashboards that I was looking at were more of the public-facing dashboards that we can share out with the world. But these are the dashboards that you're going to be using internally. And just to show you how a graph is created, I'm just going to open up the little configuration tool. And I can see that this graph is being created based on the sum of Docker containers running across all of my instances, and I'm looking at the sum. I could narrow this down by specific availability zones or other things as well. And I can overlay other events as well, maybe, as I say, GitHub commits or Docker containers coming online or whatever else I want to do. So there's a lot more I could talk about with Docker monitoring and Datadog, but we really want to try to keep this as short as we can, in a 5-minute window. So I think that gives you a good taste of what we can do for Docker.
Well, great, Matt. Thank you very much for taking the time to do a demo of the Datadog platform and how it manages containers on Amazon Web Services. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.